So I wasn't really sure how I wanted to make this video, but this video has been long overdue on my channel. This video is mainly for my OG subscribers, the viewers who have been around since day one, people who have subscribed to my channel in the recent years and have expected content from me but have not been getting that content. I'm here to explain where I've been and what happened to me. I'm honestly not even sure how many people this video is gonna reach. YouTube at this point in time doesn't even recommend any of my videos. My channel is practically on its last leg, and that's something that I've come to accept. But regardless, here I am making this video because this video, I feel like I owe it to my OG subscribers along with anyone else who is still sitting around waiting for me to upload videos. So what happened to SullyPwnz? SullyPwnz used to upload videos every single day. That was one of my key distinguishing factors compared to many YouTubers, is that I uploaded videos every single day for years. The only days I really missed uploads on were days that I were either severely sick or there was something wrong with YouTube and I wasn't able to post, or yeah, I mean, it was like that. I could probably count the days back in the day where I even missed uploads on, but for the most part, I uploaded videos every single day. And then suddenly around 2019, there was like the shift and I just kind of vanished for a long time, and then I'd come back for a little bit and then vanish again and then come back and vanish and come back. And for the last 6 years, that's kind of been the theme with me in this channel. And a lot of you guys are always wondering, what happened to me? Where did I go? What do I do when I take these breaks? What happens behind the scenes in my life that prevents me from making videos? Because I never just come out right and say I'm retired, nor do I upload consistently, so I just leave you guys hanging. And I'm not gonna lie, that's something that weighs on my conscience. I get messages like almost every day where people ask me if I'm coming back, or people request me to play certain games. A lot of the times, you know, I just feel really guilty because I just feel like I'm not giving you guys what you deserve. Even though I'm not obligated to make videos for anybody, but at the same time, I would always say like, I'll make videos and do this and that. So like, you know, I don't really follow through with my word. And it's not that I do this intentionally. I just need you guys to understand like where I'm coming from with all of this, and like what it was like to do YouTube at such a young age, and what it's like to be like a middle-aged man. Like, I don't know how to say it, guys, but like, I'm 31 years old. Like, I'm no longer a kid anymore, which is crazy to think about. Like, some days I'll just be like, yo, I'm 31. Like, I'm an uncle. Like, not literally an uncle, you know, but like, you know what I mean? Like, to a lot of kids, like, they'd call me like Uncle Sully just because of like the age gap, you know what I'm saying? So it's really crazy to think like that, because it just shows how fast time really goes by. And it does feel like a long time ago when I started this channel, but at the same time, it also feels like it was just yesterday when I opened up this YouTube channel and started my YouTube journey. A lot of you guys who are subscribed to me probably subscribed when you were little kids, because there's no way that I would believe a grown adult is sat here watching me play Mario. Obviously, I refuse to believe that, even though the analytics show like I have young adults watching my videos. Yeah, that's cap. That's obviously not true. These are little kids on their parents' accounts or on their older siblings' accounts, or making fake accounts, or making accounts with, you know, fake ages, and that's why the analytics say things like that. But clearly, if you're watching my videos, you're probably between the ages of 5 and 12. If you're watching any Nintendo content on YouTube, you're probably between the ages of 5 and 12. So most of you guys who subscribe to me probably subscribe to me between those ages, and it's been over a decade. So a lot of you guys are probably young adults in your late teens or your early 20s, which is around the age I was when I was making these videos. Here I am as a middle-aged man in my early middle-aged years, 31. It's been a crazy journey. You know, a lot of you guys are probably graduating high school, going into college. You know, maybe you guys are getting your first jobs or experiencing your first relationships. It could be a lot of different things that you guys are going through, but there was a point in time where you guys were coming home from school and putting my name in that YouTube search bar and jamming out to my intro and watching me, a goofy young adult, playing Mario and other various Nintendo games on YouTube. So yeah, it's been quite a journey. I get messages all the time where people tell me I was their childhood, that I'm nostalgic to them, and sometimes I see these compilations online, like on TikTok especially, and it's really crazy. It's very surreal to like think of that. Where I'm at today, I'm so far removed from like where I was 10, 12 years ago that it's crazy to think I did all this stuff and then, you know, here I am today and all that is still there, and I actually like impacted people in some way, shape, or form. And it's very heartwarming, honestly, and that's why I feel like I have to make this video. And it's something that I've wanted to do for a long time, but I didn't want to make this video until I knew I was in a place in time where I was ready to come back and make videos consistently on YouTube. So what is this video? This video is me explaining to you guys the journey that I've been on in the last 14 years, or 13 years rather, of making videos, of my content creation. I've been doing YouTube for 13 years on this channel. I've owned this channel since 2011. I launched it around the launch of the Nintendo 3DS, which at the time was Nintendo's latest handheld console. I grew up playing video games. I was obsessed with video games. I did horribly in school because all I did was live and breathe video games, especially Nintendo games. Like, Nintendo had a chokehold on me. Maybe for people my age or people that came before me, the obsession for video games was a lot more intense because we didn't have things like social media. Like today, you look at little kids and I see little kids with like iPhone 15s and 16s, and I'm like, yo, you're only like 10 years old. How are you holding a $1,500 smartphone? It just goes to show that times have changed, and the era that I grew up in is a lot different than the era that kids are growing up today, or even kids that grew up in the last decade. Like, I have really young siblings compared to me. One of them is actually, I think, 12 or 13, and watching him grow up was crazy because he was an iPad kid. He's a generation alpha, so he grew up on the iPad. He actually could not really speak properly till he was like a little bit older, like 5 or 6 years old, which is something apparently very common in kids these days. It's probably because of the iPad. Parents aren't like speaking with their kids, and kids are just growing up around screens and whatnot, so they're just having delayed speech. But that's besides the point. What I'm trying to essentially say is that I grew up in an era where video games were kind of the only outlet that I had other than playing outside for entertainment. I was really obsessed with video games. So when the 3DS came out, I was so excited about this thing. Like, I remember the feeling I had just watching the trailers, the hype leading up to it, knowing that like Zelda Ocarina of Time, one of the best games of all time out there today, was coming on a handheld, pocketable sized machine that you could just put in your pocket and pull out and play wherever you are in the world. That to me was like everything. That was my world. So when the 3DS came out, I knew I wanted to share my passion for these style games, and I made this YouTube channel. And along the way, I met so many incredible people. I made so many friends. Some of my best friends when I was a young adult, actually all of my best friends when I was a young adult, I met them online, and it was because of YouTube. Back then, we were just all kids having fun, making content, enjoying the company that we had with each other, playing and trying out these games and multiplayer titles online, and just having the best experiences and creating the best memories with one another. And back then, YouTube was not a business. For most of us, it was just a passion. It was purely just a hobby that we all shared interest in. I mean, for maybe at the time, the top dogs like Ray William Johnson, Niga Higa, Shay Carl, Smosh, iJustine, Kasim G, the OG YouTubers. You guys might not even know most of these guys anymore because a lot of them don't really even make content like that, but the OG YouTube watchers, the OG YouTube users will know who these guys are. Fred, all of these guys were the ones that essentially were the face of YouTube. You know, Shane Dawson, when you thought of YouTube and monetizing and making money, it was like, oh, it's reserved for like these guys, like Dave Days, all of these. I remember watching Dave Days talking about like YouTube monetization and whatnot, and he was like, yeah, we're making money doing this stuff. And to me, that felt like, oh, you have to be one of these YouTubers in order to tap into that. But it didn't bother me. It didn't matter to me. For me, I was just a kid that wanted to play these games online and post my content online. I was inspired by a lot of other different creators, OG Nintendo YouTubers. I decided I wanted to do the same thing. Like I said, along the way, I met some incredible folks and I had made some amazing connections with people. I was able to eventually turn it into a full-time job, just as all of my other friends were able to do so. And I think it was at that point in my life where YouTube became a job. I was at a weird crossroads in life, because now you go to school, right? And you graduate high school, and then after that, you know, some people have a year or two where they're just not doing anything, or maybe they're just working odd jobs trying to like make some money, save some money. But at the time when you're like 20, 21 especially, you need to have a solid career choice figured out in your life. You need to decide like, okay, I'm gonna go to school for this, and then this is what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life. With YouTubers, it's not uncommon for a person who is young to make money online and then decide that they're not going to follow that traditional route of going to school and getting a degree and then eventually landing a 9-to-5 corporate job. So for me, when I was around the age of like 21, 22, I was in a position in my YouTube journey where I could have said 100% that this is a full-time job. It's a sustainable full-time job. And at that moment in my life, I decided that I wasn't going to do school. And I was also inspired by all of my friends around me, because they were also all high school graduates that decided that they're not going to go to college either. I can name maybe like 3 of my friends out of like dozens that actually went to school, out of my YouTube friends that actually decided to go to school. I can think of Red Falcon or TWD98. Like those 2 guys, they went to school, they graduated, got their degrees, and they're still full-time content creators today. You know, they decided even after getting a degree that they're gonna pursue content creation full-time. And like, and both of these guys are killing it. Like they really are killing it in their respective field of Nintendo gaming. But with me, I was at a point where I was just like, nah, I'm gonna just pursue this YouTube thing. And it's crazy because back then, if you were to ask me, would I ever quit making videos? I would have, without a shadow of a doubt, instantaneously said to you no. I would have said no with 100% sheer confidence. And I would have convinced you why I would have never stopped making videos. And it's so crazy because I remember my mindset back then. I remember looking at channels that did well and seeing that they eventually stopped making videos, or that they would come to a point where they were really inconsistent with making videos. And I'd always not judge them in a negative way, but like I would judge them in the sense like, yo, why did you stop making videos? How is it hard for you to upload a video every day? Like to me, it was just like a no-brainer. How could you not upload a video every day? I was that kid where like if I missed one day and I didn't upload a video, my day would be ruined, like completely ruined. I would feel like garbage the whole day, and I would have to redeem myself the next day. And it was just something about it. It was like a drug of some sort, where like I would wake up and there was this rush of just like getting on your computer and then setting up everything and just like getting behind the mic and recording a video and then just like editing it real quick and then uploading it. And it was just so awesome. And I never thought that I would ever lose that passion. So no matter how much money was involved in this YouTube game or how much money I could have earned, it never really motivated me. I would be lying to say, oh, I made these videos because I 100% only wanted to create content. That's obviously, any YouTuber who says that is a liar. Everybody needs to survive. Everybody needs to make a living some way, somehow. But what always motivated me was just the passion of doing it. It was never just making money off of it. And that's why people could argue, well, how do we know that that's true? Well, if it wasn't true, I would have just continued making videos. I would have never stopped making videos. You know, some people will legit sit behind the camera and make videos or live stream every day, and you could see it in their eyes that they are not having fun. Like they are souls that are dead inside. They are literally slaves to just that AdSense check, and they're not even having fun anymore. And for me, it was never about that. It was always about having fun. I always wanted to make videos that entertained people, that made people laugh, videos where I had a good time with my friends. I have a lot of videos obviously that are just me, but I have a lot of co-op videos as well. And my channel is not a co-op channel by any means, but I have over probably 1,500 videos on my channel where I'm playing games with other people. And that to me was like the most fun when it came to content creation. It was being able to play video games with my friends and create these experiences and have these good times and these good laughs with my friends, and then also share it with people online, and then being able to do this as a job where I didn't have to worry about going to school or picking up a 9-to-5 job, and the path was just clear cut for me. It was just all laid out for me. Make videos and you'll be able to sustain yourself. And around that age of 22, it was really like a pivotal moment in my life where I had to really think about like, what do I want from this long term? I reached that point in my life where obviously it was going to be full-time content creation, and I embraced it and I loved it, and it was like the best thing in the world. And at the time, YouTube was just so much fun still for me and for everybody around me. And then around 2016, it was like this weird shift. Like, you could even say it was like a shift in the air. I don't know what it was, but it wasn't just me. It was a lot of even my friend group at the time that felt this type of way, but something happened. YouTube didn't have that same certain charm that it once did. It started to shift. Even the dynamic and the relationships that I had with people, even looking at my friends from an outside perspective, the relationships that they also had with content creators and other YouTubers as well, it really started to shift. And YouTube, it ended up having a different flavor with it. It wasn't the same YouTube that we grew up on when we were 17, 18, 19 years old, 20 years old, playing video games and having fun. And at that point, me being 22, I was like about maybe 6 years into my YouTube career, which is quite a long time. And I, at that point, had easily 2,000 videos uploaded onto my channel. And I had already dibble-dabbled my hands into other channels as well. So this wasn't just like, oh, 2,000 videos on one channel. I had other things that I did in the past along my journey. You know, I was active in every department that you could say. At that point in life, I didn't understand like really what was going on, but I still made videos. But I just knew that the passion that I had wasn't the same. Something was different. And then fast forward to 2017. 2017 was the launch of the Nintendo Switch. Now that, it brought back a lot of passion for me. I was obviously really excited about Nintendo's latest console, the Nintendo Switch, which obviously is a really good console. I mean, it could be better, but we'll see what the next generation Nintendo console has to be like. But you know, for Nintendo, yeah, it was a really good console. It was much better than what we had with the Wii U. Games like Breath of the Wild being one of the launch titles of the Switch was actually one of the best things ever. When I think of those times, my brain's just gushing with dopamine and nostalgia, because with the release of the Nintendo Switch, it brought back passion that was missing. However, unfortunately, at that time, Nintendo wasn't releasing many heavy hitters. I was like at a point in my career where I was just like very selective with the games that I wanted to play, and YouTube had already started to change a lot as a whole, and that was something that also kind of threw me off, and it threw a lot of other YouTubers off as well. And if I have to really dig into it and like kind of give you guys like a big brain explanation to simplify it and not go too deep into it, YouTube is such that every 5 to 7, 8 years, there's like a shift in the way people view content and the type of content people view. Back then in 2011, when I started, you could upload a 30-minute video, very simple video where you're just commentating, playing a video game, the traditional let's play video, and upload that to YouTube, and people would watch it and people would enjoy it. The attention span of people back then was a lot higher than it was in 2017. With social media and Vine as well at the time, where you had shorter videos, there was like a cultural shift in the game where people started preferring a different style content, and even the content that people consumed was differently. And at that time, if you were a YouTuber, you had to kind of adapt to it, because it was either adapt or you sink your ship. Every YouTuber who starts a YouTube channel, there is an expiration date floating above their head. Every YouTuber. You could be Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast at some point will expire. Even though he's the top dog right now, I promise you, 10 years from now, it's not gonna be Mr. Beast. It'll be someone else. And that's just how it always is. There's always an expiration date on your head when you're a YouTuber, and it's either you adapt to survive or you just end up floating into the abyss of nothingness, of irrelevancy, as they say. And I knew that. And for me, that was like kind of my first rude awakening with this YouTube thing. I was like, yo, views are going down, and I started really concerning myself with the metrics. And at the time as well, there's just a lot of competition. Everybody like wanted to become a YouTuber, and there's just a lot more fish in the sea. And it was just like, okay, now there's a lot of competition now. And it started to really shift my mentality of how I viewed YouTube. So it went from being something that I really loved to do, and it was just purely fun and passion, and on top of that, I was making a living off of it, to, oh man, this is really a threat to my living, and if I don't adapt, I'm gonna end up homeless, and I'm not gonna be able to take care of myself, and I'd be in ruins. And that was like the mindset that I really started to experience as well. And it's scary, of course, because like I said, when I was younger, I made that choice. I made that decision to not pursue that higher education and to just focus on my YouTube career. And it was something, again, that I was really misguided with, because I thought, oh, this is something that I could do forever. Because at the time, I felt that this is something that I could do forever. I really did. I didn't see myself being 25, 30 years old and saying, oh, like, I'm good, I don't want to make videos anymore. You're naive. You think that your mindset will always remain the same, but you forget that you grow up. And at that time, I was very aware of what was happening, and I wasn't going to let myself sink in that ship of irrelevancy. So I did what any other person would have done, and that was kind of switch up the formula of my content, make it much faster paced, edit it down in a way where it's much more palatable for the modern 2017 viewer who has a shorter attention span. And with the help of an editor, obviously, I was able to get to that point where my content was, I guess, more transformative than it was in prior years. And it was really in that year that I felt the pressure of, this is a job. And then things really changed for me in 2018. And what's crazy is that in 2018, I remember having this conversation in my house, in my basement actually. It was on Thanksgiving 2018, and I remember having like a really deep conversation with Kobe and Etika at the time about the YouTube game. And I remember it was like the first time I really opened up to like anybody, like about my mindset and how I felt, and like how YouTube was just very draining for me, and it was just like mentally taxing, and I wasn't enjoying it, and I was just like always stressed a lot of the time. Like I was just very stressed all the time, just like my views, just always checking my views, always looking at my subscriber growth. On YouTube at that time also like was changing up even the way their analytics were. They were adding red and green arrows, and they started changing the analytics up so much so that when your video would perform well, they would reward you with cool animations and green, arrows and whatnot. And then when your video would underperform, it would just give you like a notice, and then red dark arrows telling you like, hey, you're garbage, nobody wants to watch you, you're irrelevant. And at that time, I didn't realize that I wasn't the only one that felt like that. Etika, I remember opening up to me, like we were like on the exact same mindset, like even him and Kobe. And at that time as well, like Kobe, he quit making videos like altogether. Like he wasn't even making videos pretty much from May 2018, and that's essentially when he quit making videos, May 2018. So it was just like really shocking that my peers who I had known for like a decade, these were guys that were like titans in the YouTube community, in the Nintendo community especially. Kobe had literally one of the biggest YouTube channels of Nintendo, and Etika was by far the most popular Nintendo streamer on earth. And the numbers this guy would pull, 20,000, 25,000 viewers on his YouTube streams in 2018, that was unheard of. And it's crazy how far he could have went if he just treated it like a business. But we were like all in that same boat and in that same mindset that it wasn't fun, and it was just very stressful. Another thing, honestly, too, for me specifically, was they say when you turn 25 as a young man, that's when your brain fully develops. And I didn't really know what that meant. I really had no idea what that meant, like in the sense like, okay, your brain fully develops, like does that mean like your peak intellect or whatever? But I think when your brain fully develops, it's like you're like a man at that point. Like you're fully grown. Like, you know, now it's about learning and wisdom to level up in life. But like when it comes to like your brain, you're not naive in a sense, or you're not still growing and understanding what it's like to be a man or whatever it may be. For me, when I turned 25, I would say I 100% felt something completely different that I'd never felt ever in my YouTube career. We kind of struggled with our self-esteem when it came to like making videos or doing content creation. And it was weird because most people that you watch, you would think, oh, the way they carry themselves, they have no insecurities or no self-esteem issues. But for me, I was just like really ashamed of being a YouTuber. Not that being a YouTuber is bad or anything like that. Of course not. That's not what it is, or like the kind of content I made. There was nothing that was like that, you know. It was more so an insecurity of my own. Like, so if I were meeting new people, right, and these people asked me what I did for a living, I would be really ashamed to tell them I make YouTube videos. I would be really ashamed, especially to tell them that I played Nintendo games for a living. At that time, I'm 25, right? So like I'm, you know, fully developed brain and whatnot, and I'm just like, yo, I don't want to say what I do, you know. So I would kind of just like avoid the question altogether, because it's just like, to me, I'm just like, oh, they're gonna look at me as cringe, like, oh, look at this grown man playing Mario for a living while these guys already graduated school and are off doing engineering and lawyers, and some of them are still in med school or in dental school. They're becoming something in society, whereas like me, I'm just like, yo, I'm playing Mario for a living. It really, like, it got to me. I would say like at 25 is like when I really felt it, and I struggled with that a lot. And it was something that I just couldn't shake off, and I didn't know how to just move past that. Every time I would sit behind the mic to try to record, I just felt uncomfortable. And that was the first time ever in my career that I was just really uncomfortable making videos. When we started YouTube, we were still little kids. Like, sure, you're 17, you're tall, you look like you're a young man, but in reality, you're still a kid. You're like in between becoming an adult and leaving your childhood. So for me, I was like still leaving my childhood behind, and I was moving towards my adulthood. But then like as I became 25, I became an adult, like a full-fledged adult, and I really just didn't know myself. You know, I didn't know what I wanted from life, or what life really was to me, and what the purpose of it was. That's something that I had to go through and discover. And in 2019 was like the year where I really decided I'm gonna take a break from this whole thing. It was really because everything that happened with like Etika in 2019, and you know, everything that was happening with Kobe at the time, I realized me doing something that I don't want to do, or that I'm not into it, rather, like I wasn't feeling it, and I forced myself to do it, it's not gonna end well for me. Like, it's not gonna make my mental health better. People don't teach you how to handle mental health when you're in this YouTube rat race. You might not even necessarily be needing mental health checkups because, oh, you're being bullied or criticized or whatever. It's also just the taxation of being in the game. Literally that grind of, oh, I gotta get my views up, I gotta compete with this person, am I good enough? Always watching, you know, this person and what this person's doing, and how they're making videos, and then feeling like you're not good enough, or people on the outside chit-chatting and like, oh, look at this guy doing this and making this style videos, and oh, what a loser, and all of that in itself, you know, it just like culminates to this dark cloud, this demon that you just have to deal with. And on top of that, this is your livelihood. So it's like, if you don't continue, then you're pretty much gonna screw yourself. And people like myself, like I said, who don't have a college degree, it's like, what am I gonna do? But fortunately, you know, for me, you know, thank God, like I was able to take care of myself when I was younger, and you know, I was able to, you know, set some eggs aside for a rainy day, you know, for situations like this. And you know, fortunately, you know, I was able to take this break from YouTube while at the same time not shooting myself in the foot. And it was that year that I lived in California. I lived in California in 2019. I moved out. At that point in my life, I had just like moved on from the content house that I had for 3-4 years, and I wanted to start fresh in a different state with different people, and California was the spot for me. My roommates were incredible. They were very inspiring. Troy, Tyler, Fearsome Fire at the time. Even though Fearsome Fire, he's kind of like, you know, going through his own stuff right now in life, he definitely like was a huge inspiration for me. And I really, you know, tried to help him out in his career and, you know, help guide him so he doesn't end up in a position where he harms himself. Because I was at that time much older than him. I was 25 years old and I had already been in the game for like almost 7-8 years at that time. Yeah, it was about 9-8 years at that time. So like I didn't want him to like go and make the same mistakes that I made, you know, and just get too caught up with the whole views and staying relevant and all that stuff. My roommate Cole as well, an excellent video editor, and he was really good videographer behind the camera. We tried a little vlog channel out for a little bit, but they were all a huge inspiration for me. And at that time in my life, it's what I really needed. And I was really inspired to want to come back into content creation. I even wanted to do like Twitch streams or just, you know, live streaming in general. But I knew that, especially with what happened with like the whole Etika situation and what was happening with Kobe, I just wanted to avert some, not saying like I would have went down that same path, but I just wanted to do it right. I wanted to step away entirely from this YouTube thing. And rather than like actually at the time articulating myself and making a video explaining to my viewers like what was actually going on behind the scenes and in my head, I just said to myself that I'll come back to it soon. And I would just like stop making videos. In 2019, I stopped making videos in October, I believe, and I ended up coming back in August, I believe, of 2020. So that was like the longest break that I've ever taken on YouTube in that time of my life. And 9 months or 10 months of being off, it really reset everything for me. And when I came back in August of 2020, I actually came back with a passion of making videos. I remember at the time, Paper Mario the Origami King was just released, and I had so much fun playing that game. Like, if I go back and I watch those videos, like, not that I watch my own videos or anything like that, but if I go back and I just like watch like clips or snippets here and there, just to see like how I was, I could definitely feel like I was passionate and excited about it. And that was something that I always told myself, that I will never make garbage videos. I will never make a video just because I want to stay relevant or just because I want to, like, you know, keep my views or channel alive. Like, I literally killed my channel. My channel is dead. I've been in a net negative of subscribers legit since 2019 when I took my first break. Like, literally every month my channel loses subscribers. And it's probably something that's not going to stop anytime soon. You know, people are growing up every day, and then they're probably filtering out their subscriptions, and they're like, yo, this guy SullyPwnz, I used to watch him when I was like 6. I don't watch him no more, and then unsubscribe. And I don't blame them. You know, I was that guy too. How many YouTube channels have I unsubscribed from because I personally grew up and I don't watch those style videos anymore, or that type of content anymore, and I just move on with my life. So that's just a part of the game. It's a part of life. You make videos and you subscribe to people, you know, and they're there to serve their purpose in that point in your life, and then you grow up and you move on and you find other creators and other people, you know, that you give your time to. So it's just a part of the game. And right now, if I were to look at it, like, out of the dozens and dozens of creators that I've known personally and I had relationships with in the YouTube game, there is but a handful of them that are actually consistent still. Like, some of them are still making videos, but only a very few handful of them that are actually making videos actively. Majority of them are gone. They are retired or they've moved on in life, and it's honestly like really crazy to think about, because a lot of these guys I don't even really talk to anymore. These guys were like my life, my best friends, people that I never thought I would ever not have a relationship with. And lo and behold, it's just like life moves on. Here I am in 2024, we're going on 2025, and it's just like I'm living a different life altogether. It's the same with those guys. But yeah, like between 2019 and 2024, it was just a discovery period in my life. From the ages of 26 or or 25 to be more specific, to the ages of 31, because I'm 31 now. These last 6 years of my life have legit been me figuring out who I am and becoming the man that I am today. I'm not saying that I figured it all out. I'm not saying that I got it all together and whatnot. By no means am I making these claims. I still have a lot of growth. I still have a lot to do in my life. I have a lot of things that I want to accomplish 100%. But when it comes to the YouTube side of things, I know exactly where I stand with it. And I'm at a point where I want to continue making videos, and I have all these ideas. I've had so many different channel ideas, and I would be this close to committing, and actually starting these channels and making these videos, but I never really crossed that bridge because I feel like there's this baggage that I still have to address. I have to unpack, and it was this channel, SullyPwnz. I would feel so guilty all the time trying to move on to something else without actually addressing the channel that essentially started it all for me, which is this channel. And that's why I'm making this video, to essentially explain to you guys everything. It wasn't me not wanting to make videos or that I was lazy to make videos. I genuinely, my heart wasn't in it. I hadn't had the passion to make videos for such a long time, and I saw it coming. This was a long time coming. From 2015, almost a decade ago, this was all already brewing behind the scenes. It wasn't until 2019, like I said, that I had to make that decision and pull that plug and step away from everything and just figure out myself and my life and just live my life for me. Not for views or subscribers or for the viewers or for anything, for anyone. It was just for myself. For the longest time, from 17 till 25, my entire life was just YouTube and online and social media. And I think the best thing that I did for myself was really taking that step back and figuring out myself and my life and my passions, and being able to pursue that and understanding what I wanted from this world and define what life meant to me, and knowing what my purpose is in this world. And I know what it is. I know what my purpose is in this life. And now that I'm at this point in my life, I'm ready and I'm hungry, and I'm passionate and I'm excited to come back and make content. And the beauty of it all is that my channel is dead. So I'm not even concerned about the money aspect or the views. I know that, growth will come over time. If I make videos that I'm passionate about, that I put my heart into it just because I am genuinely having fun with it, I know that the growth will come. I know that everything will fall into place when it's meant to be. So that's not something that I'm going to concern myself over. Even though I haven't been making videos, it doesn't mean I've been ignorant to what's happening online. No, I spend a lot of time on my computer every day, so I'm still tapped into the game. I'm still tapped into the scene. I watch a lot of streamers. I watch a lot of YouTube creators. So I'm up to date with everything. It's not like I'm just completely AFK all the time. No, I'm actually more times than not, most of my day I'm spending time on my computer and whatnot, doing other ventures in life and whatnot. So I'm really excited to come back and make videos, and I think this is the calling, because I never thought Nintendo would release another Mario and Luigi game. And when I saw the Direct and the first thing that they announced in the Direct was Mario and Luigi, I just knew this is it. This is my calling. I'm coming back, man, and I'm excited. And I hope all of you guys that have messaged me very kind, wonderful messages, heartfelt messages about how I was nostalgic and I made your childhoods, and you guys grew up watching me play Mario and Luigi. We can have one more final ride together, you guys as young adults, me as a middle-aged man, and we can just have that nostalgic blast to the past. I think with the way the world is going and all the things that are happening around the world, we could all use that comfort, and nostalgia is so comforting. I think that's why people hold on to nostalgia, because it is a comforting feeling. When you go back and you watch something that makes you feel good, or that made you feel good back in the day, or experienced something that made you feel good back in the day, it's very comforting. That's pretty much the moral of the story. Down below, I'll link a channel that I'm going to be starting very soon. I started it last year with the launch of Tears of the Kingdom. It's called Poe, or SullyPwnz, at SullyPwnz on YouTube. And originally I was just going to turn it into a Zelda channel, but I think I bit off more than I could chew. I was really excited about the hype of Tears of the Kingdom with that channel, and I was making this channel dedicated for Zelda, but I ended up biting off more than I could chew with that, and I ended up just stepping away from it the moment I felt myself mentally drained from the whole thing, and that's why I haven't posted on that channel in a year. But I have a different plan for that channel that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be privating all the videos, and I'm going to start posting on that channel very soon. If you guys want to subscribe to that channel that's going to have different content from the content that will be posted on this channel, feel free to subscribe to it. Let's just say, you know, it's going to be a good next few months. It's going to be a good upcoming year for, you know, Nintendo fans. We have a new Nintendo console on the horizon. We also have, you know, a couple final Switch bangers to be released before, you know, we say goodbye to the Nintendo Switch. And obviously we have a bunch of Switch games that I haven't played that I would like to play for you guys here on the channel as well. So be sure to subscribe to this channel if you're unsubscribed and you somehow stumbled upon this video. And if you are still subscribed, I hope you stick around. And if you don't want to stick around and you've moved on from this type of content, that's just life. I don't blame you at all. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you made it to the end of the video, I really do appreciate it. I hope that, you know, this video explains like everything. And I honestly, like I said, I didn't go into this video planning any of this stuff out. I just thought I'd just spitball off my head, just how I was feeling and everything like that. I just hope that it makes sense to you guys who have watched this video. But other than that, I have to say thank you guys so much, truly, from the depths of my heart, truly from the depths of my heart. You guys have changed my life forever, and I can never, you know, express the amount of gratitude that I have, you know, for those of you guys who have stuck around and watched my videos throughout the years and have come back time and time again to rewatch my videos, or who have watched all my projects that I've done. I'm so grateful to have been put in this position, and I really, really do hope that this upcoming year, I'm not gonna, you know, say I'm gonna make videos forever, but I hope that this upcoming year with the release of Nintendo's next gen console will be an incredible year where we can make some awesome videos and create some very memorable moments together. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.